And say to you here on the show, it's always nice to get out and about and share things with you as I'm out and about filming, particular historical things with royal connections. Like me, I think you enjoy some of these things because you kind of look and think, wow, all of those years ago, people were simply doing this. And then you're walking through and thinking, right, we're now literally part of history, as I've said many times on the show. Here today, we're in St. James's Park. It's a beautiful, free, open space, lots of benches and a sort of moment, if you like, of tranquility in the very heart of busy London. Literally that way, you're into Whitehall and the throbbing heart of political land, 10 Downing Street, Whitehall, all of that sort of stuff. But right here, in the very heart of St. James's Park, you literally could be anywhere. Now, around about 350 years ago, what you see now is a lake, but King Charles II, oh yes, King Charles II himself instructed workmen to dig this particular lake, which was then more of a, a lake and canal river type thing. He really wanted somewhere where he could swim, which he did on a regular basis. And then when it froze over during the winter, he would go ice skating on there too. It was something, you see, that he'd seen way back over in France and thought, well, they've got something like that. Why can't I? So you can imagine really the idea of how he wanted to be simply talked about. It was the Instagram, if you like, of the day. People would come down and they were allowed to actually watch the king take an early morning dip or an afternoon swim if it was incredibly warm. Imagine that today. Totally different, don't you think? Now, the canal was about 850 metres long and 100 feet wide and stretched the whole length of the park. It was part of the redesign of St. James's Park, which began soon after Charles II became king in 1660. He simply wanted a pleasure park like the ones he'd seen, as I said, in France. As well as the canal, there were avenues of trees and courts to play the new game of Peely Meal. Now, the courts became known as Pall Mall, and then simply, as we know it today, the Mall. At one end of the canal, there was a duck decoy, a series of narrow linked channels where wild ducks were lured into cages. The ducks were then killed and cooked for the king. Imagine that. The decoy was later removed to make way for horse cars, but the site is near the present-day Duck Island, which is very close to that. The island was created in the 1820s when the designer John Nash redesigned the park and turned the canal into the lake that we are looking at today. I say this often, but this is the beauty, as I say, of living in a wonderful place like London. You can see from one moment to the next. There's so many beautiful free areas to come and visit. It doesn't have to be too expensive. And as I say, when you do look around these particular areas, they all really have, in some respects, a royal connection. And when you think about it, 350 plus years ago, you literally could have seen the king swimming. I know, incredible to think. Today it's as vibrant and as busy as ever, but all free and so close to many other amenities. Literally Buckingham Palace round the corner, if you think about it. The Churchill War Room's about 5 minutes away, always worth a visit. And there's so much else to take in when you get here, if of course you can prise yourself up from the very relaxing benches pitted all around St. James's Park. The only thing you do have to pay for, I must point out, are the deck chairs. Little bit pricey, but if you're splashing out, why not? Neil Sean, St. James's Park, London.